All right, Mark. You know, it's a tough day out here, and it's going to be a tough day. You know, we think, anyways. What is it that you're trying to do out here on the Delta? That you know, when you used to have tough days like this, what are you going to do? You just going to cover water? You're going to look for certain spots? You going to what are you doing?
You know, I'm practicing for a tournament, so I'm going to cover water. I'm looking for spots where they're going to move up, potentially spawn. You know, they move up and feed, potentially spawn in some of these places. Got a little bit of current, and I'm going to probably look for some deep water right near where they're going to spawn. I think some of those fish may have pulled off just because we have a cold front and it's, you know, a little funky today. But I'm still going to try some of the shallow spots. We're going to just bounce back and forth, try some deep spots, try some shallow spots. And then if we're still not catching them, we're going to try to finesse some of these shallow spots, you know, because maybe they just don't want to bite a moving bait and they will bite something slower, drop shot, Senko, you know, Texas rig worm.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to try.
All right, well, let's get back at it.
Okay.
You look at the hyacinth this time of year, and it looks pretty nasty. It's brown. It's obviously got frostbite. It's, you know, whatever. And it looks pretty good. Is it still alive though?
And a lot of it's dead. You know, they sprayed it. You know, it's dying. But there's a little bit of it that looks alive, and there's a little bit green, and that'll come back pretty quick. You know, get it again. Spray it.
Is it still good to punch it when it's dying like that?
There's some of the way I look at it. If it's pouring down rain, you have an umbrella with some holes in it, you're probably still going to use the umbrella, even though it has some holes in it. So yes, they can still catch them out of there. It's a piece of cover, you know. It's like a dock doesn't really have anything living in it. Live hyacinth has living organisms in it. But a dock does not. So it's kind of like a dock with overhead that you can actually get right down into it. And your only umbrella in the rainstorm.
In this case, though, I think we're looking at the rainstorm being what, sun? Just direct sunlight?
Yeah, yes. So sun, you know,
Because fish don't really care. Fish don't care if they get wet.
High sunny skies will put these fish in these
We're out here right now. This is what I've got going. I got the old jackhammer, and I'm throwing that with this is a Strike King something. Still haven't looked at what it is called. So this is a bluegill color, kind of matching the bluegill. Bluegill are the big ones out here right now. And this jackhammer did some work for me last time I was out, so it's a good bait. And we're switching kind of between that and switching to the river to sea craws, the biggies, and the square bills, and just seeing see which one turns on first.
There's one.
way out there.
A little further out, yeah.
Oh, is that a striper?
No, it's a big bass or a striper.
Oh,
No, it's a striper. Look at that. Woo!
Yeah, it was out there. Yeah,
Cool, I got lunch. I got dinner.
there you go.
Striper.
You need a multi-use pro to hook up into your grab. You need a multi-use pro. You have a standalone.
Not the biggest ones yet. That's my third bite. This. It's pretty good. The old jackhammer, doing the job.
So you need that roll for your like that? Yeah. Well, yeah. I do.
Number 2. just a little bit deeper grass right here, a little bit deeper tulies that we're kind of fishing. And what I'm seeing here, these are bucks moving up. I think to probably start spawning. No tail, you know, they haven't been fanning yet or anything like that, but they're probably just bucks moving up to spawn. So, second one right in this little spot. They're hammering it good. Boy, they're hitting it hard. They're going to start moving up. There's no. There's one. Yep, that's what we're on. Bucks right here.
Big old giant pig.
There we go. Nope. Wow, got him in the bottom lip. Jackhammer produces giants. Let me do this. There's one. Nice one too. Finally. There's a good old figure. On the freaking punch.
Oh, good. You all right?
No. Nice.
Interesting. I like it. Shallow spot. It's pretty shallow. That's what I was thinking. That was too shallow. We'll hit it anyway. It wasn't too shallow anyway, right?
Only got to have about a foot of water underneath and a bass can fit under it, right?
Wasn't like I had to do it. Nice. That one is in there all the way, huh?
A little bit.
Woo. Nice. That's a fat one.
Yeah. Like my cousin. Nice fish. There he is. There he is. Come on out.
Get it on the way down. Might be gone. I had him all the way up.
Nope, there he is.
A little one. Just, I told him hit it on the way down.
There he is.
It's only 13 inches long and he's 2 pounds. How fat that one is.
Yeah. There he is. That's what we're looking for. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so nice. Hey, crankbait fish.
Not picture worthy.
All right, finally got one on a crankbait today.
Not the right size. That was the first. Come here at low tide.
I don't know. No, he's stuck to a thing.
I thought he was at first. Then he broke free. There we go. We got doubles here. Huh?
Giants all day long for me.
Oh, good. Now that feels like a way better fish. Oh, yeah.
Nope, never mind. He got stuck.
Oh, again, snagging that little thing out there. Hit it hard and took you right into it. Unless he shrunk by the time he got here.
Another buck. No scraping yet, but let me get that off. All right, buddy. Thanks for the tug. I'm out here with Mark Lazane. We just got off the California Delta and thought it'd be a good idea if we gave you our 5 baits that we come to the Delta with every time. You know, give you an idea of something you can put in your tackle box, bring out, or put in your boat, bring out here with you, catch fish on, because they're the 5 that I choose and the 5 that he chooses. We haven't discussed this. We have no idea what each one of us is going to say or which one of us is going to show, but it'll give you an idea of what you need to do to catch some fish.
Exactly.
So, Mark, why don't you lead us off with, you know,
I fish out here like 100 days a year, and these are 5 baits that I pretty much always have tied on, 365 days a year. Obviously, summer may change, winter may change a little bit, but these are 5 hot baits that I use all of the time. Okay? So, one bait is a frog. I like 2 different frogs, a poppin' frog, and then a standard frog like the Bullywa, River to Sea Bullywa 2. I throw that on a Kuma 7.3 heavy, Helios 7.3-1 reel. I use Phoenix Hydra 65-pound line for this technique. So that's 1, the frog. Number 2, my favorite technique is punching, and you can do this all year long. You can catch them when it's raining or when it's sunny out. Obviously, it's better in the summertime when it's sunny, but punching. I'm using a Kuma TCS 711 HX heavy rod. Has a really stiff backbone. Again, 65-pound Hydra line, and I'm using a River to Sea trash bomb. 1.25 ounces is a good weight, good general weight to use most of the time. I use a River to Sea heavy wire hook, and my favorite punching bait is a Yamamoto flapping hog, green pumpkin red. Now, you can't go wrong using that. Okay, the next one is a chatterbait. They bite a chatterbait all year long. We caught some on it today. I throw a Z-Man chatterbait. Green pumpkin is probably my favorite. And then a Yamamoto Seiko trailer. They make 2 trailers, one with a straight tail, one with a paddle tail. So when the fish are a little more aggressive, I'll switch up to the paddle tail. When they're not quite so aggressive, I use this. And this is one you just want to wind it down and reel it through the weeds really slow. That's 3. Number 4 is a square bill. So my favorite square bill, River to Sea Biggie Papa, and there's a bunch of different colors. Chartreuse is good. The black and orange, you can see I've caught a ton of fish on this one, about wore it out. And I throw this on TCS 7 medium heavy Akuma rod, again with the same Helios reel 7.3-1. That's 4. Now 5, I think any body of water you go to, and I don't care, from Alaska to Florida, this bait catches them everywhere. It's a wacky rig, Yamamoto Senko. This is a 6-inch on a Gamakatsu weedless wacky hook, throwing 15-pound fluorocarbon on this. Obviously, if you're going to the lake, you want to scale down. But this is a go-to here on the Delta. I'm throwing this one on the same as my frog rod, TCS 7.3 heavy. But I throw this with 15-pound fluoro versus braid. So that's my 5 Delta rods. If you're going out with me tomorrow, you could bring these 5 rods and you'd catch fish on almost every one of them.
Nice. Well, I don't fish quite as much on the Delta. I probably put maybe anywhere between 15 and 20 days a year on the Delta compared to his 100. But it kind of tells you what the Delta does, because I'll give you my 5. Number 1, punching. Love punching. And same basic setup. I use it 1.5 ounces bobber stopper. I'm using the Gamakatsu hook on this one. This is the gap here, and then this is the new X Zone punching craw that I've been using. I caught a lot of fish on it today, or caught quite a few fish on it today. Really liked it. I'm throwing it on the Phoenix Recon Elites. This one here is my. I always get this one wrong, mixed up with the other two. This is the C796. Heavy, fast action tip, super good backbone on this thing. Actually threw it today, loved it. And this is the new, the pitching and flipping Daiwa 8-to-1. Take up a lot of line whenever you're bringing it. This is my punch rod right here. Number 2 is my spinnerbait. Love throwing a spinnerbait out here. So many shad in the water, so much different things out here. I throw this on 15-pound mono or 15-pound Yozuri hybrid. And depending on how clear the water is today, it's not very clear, so I can get away with the green line and like it. I throw it on a 1/2 ounce. I throw it on my Maxim, my 7.3 fast action, medium heavy rod. This is my Phoenix Maxims. Love these things. I pair it with a Revo SX. With this one is the 7.2-to-1 retrieve. and then I'm back to the same thing. I got the chatterbait on, and love the chatterbait. I didn't actually have my chatterbait rod today. I forgot it at home, so I ended up using a different rod today. But normally I throw it on my M1 7'4", and I throw it on usually braid 65-pound, and I keep it right there. And it's the same reel though. It's the Revo S. Nice 6.2-to-1 on retrieve on this one. Again, throw it out, get it down there. This one was the jackhammer, and I'm really starting to really like these jackhammers. Caught a lot of fish on it today, and throwing this with the Strike King trailer. It's called the Blade trailer, so there it is. And then last but not least for me, I like to throw this little baby here. This is the River to Sea Whopper Plopper. I throw it on, I have it on my crankbait rod here, but it's the X12 or X13. The X13 is actually for deep diving crankbaits, but it's got a really good backbone. The Phoenix X13, great rod. It's composite, loads this thing up, chucks just about 1.5 million miles out, and you can make some really good long retrieves on it. 65-pound braid minimum. I'm using anything between the Phoenix. What's the name of the Phoenix line again? You said, because that's the one
Oh, the Phoenix Hydra.
Hydra.
Yes.
I always forget the name of the Hydra, but it's the Phoenix Hydra line. 65-pound braid. Throw that out there. Slings these things a mile. Catches a lot of fish. And then we go to the frog, and that's my 5. But the frog is one of my favorite baits to throw out here. These 2 baits are my favorite of all time to throw. This one's the River to Sea frog. I throw pretty much all kinds of different frogs, but just a frog in general. Hollow body frog. Again, I throw this thing on a 7'4" heavy, fast action, 65-pound, 80-pound braid. Either one of those works. Make sure it's you want that Hydra. You want that good line that casts a long ways, comes through, doesn't break. And I catch a ton of fish a year out here. It's what I come to the Delta a lot to do, is when I come down here, if I can't throw a frog, I'm a little sad, but I really enjoy throwing these things. So Whopper Plopper, frog, all other baits, you kind of see we're right there on what we actually use, but this is
we're close. We're close. And they all work. Whopper Plopper is also an awesome bait. You know, I love throwing that. You know, spinnerbait works really good too. So besides that, it looks like we have about the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, it tells you kind of what the Delta is. I mean, he fishes it a lot more than I do. I fish it more, you know, with tournaments coming up, I'll come out, pre-fish, fish, and then come down. I'm starting to more pleasure fish down here because it is, you know, it's a great waterway to come out to and fish, right? I mean, we have a good time.
You can power fish. You know, it's nice. You can finesse fish. but you can almost always power fish in this lake, and it's, you know, which makes it a lot of fun.
And you've been fishing here how long this year? How many months have you been fishing here this year?
You know,
We only have 3 months into it.
Started fishing late here, but I've been here about 15 days
15
this
days
year.
This year, and have you fished in January?
No, I fished Lake Shasta in January.
Okay, so February, March?
February, March, yep.
Okay, so in February, March, you're still power fishing. You're still throwing the chatterbaits. You're still throwing all these different lures that people want. I mean, that's what you want to come out here and do.
Right. It's fun. You go out and chuck and wind, and, you know, you throw bigger baits. And, you know, I rarely fish deeper than 5 feet. So you can, you know. I know guys catch them out deeper than that, but, you know, not me. I like fishing shallow. I like power fishing. Well,
I mean, that kind of tells you, if you're coming out, try some of these lures that we just threw on. Check them out. They're easy to pick up anywhere. And it's one of those things. And again, if there's something you like to throw, the nice thing about the Delta is if you like to throw it, normally a bass out there will eat it.
For sure.
Mark, thanks for coming out today. We had a great time on the water. We have a video coming up, too, that hopefully you'll look for on Bass Angler Magazine and on their YouTube channel and on my YouTube channel. And you guys, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. And Mark Lassane has got a heck of a magazine out there, so make sure you go out and get that magazine. Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Yep, Bass Angler Magazine is a how-to, you know, basically a seasonal how-to book of how to catch fish with great stories, you know, from mostly from touring professionals. We have a lot of great info. You just won't know what you're missing until you pick up one copy and read it. I think you'll be amazed.
All right. Mark, thanks again. See you guys later. Thanks a bunch.